Thanks for tuning in to my channel. I want to thank you for your likes and for your comments, which I always try to answer. For example, one of my subscribers mentioned how sad it was of the Girl Scout that climbed the flagpole and fell. That made us think that if it happened today, the girl wouldn't be going up for patriotic reasons, but to get a selfie. In the 1920s, it was all about the look of the flapper. It wasn't just the fashions they wore, it was the makeup. To start, you need your skin to be as pale as possible. First, you start with cold cream applied liberally over the face. Next comes the powder as a top coat. These women would carry powder with them wherever they went. Have you ever heard the phrase, "I've got to powder my nose"? Finally, the most important part is to have lips shaped as a Cupid's bow. There were even these little cards to help you get the perfect shape. Now you look the same as all us other flappers. They would also apply makeup and powder to their back when they wore their backless dresses. If you stay tuned to the end of this video, you'll see a 1928 contest for who has the most beautiful back. Let's read today's paper. Today's issue of the Seattle Post-Intelligencer is Thursday, May 12th, 1927. Farm Edison turns waste into cheap gas. Mabton, May 11th. 140 pounds of musty alfalfa hay, straw, Russian thistle, sagebrush, corn stalks, corn cobs, weeds, sawdust, potato tops, hop vines and leaves, baked for 2 hours in a retort, is what is in successful operation on the ranch of Soren Christensen. 2 miles west of Mabton will fill an 800 cubic foot tank with gas sufficient to furnish light, hot water, and heat for cooking for the average family for 7 days. Mr. Christensen uses the gas for lighting, running gas engines, operating a tractor, sawing wood, and pumping water. It operates an automobile, silage cutter, and hay baler. Patrolman wins sidewalk sprint with bootlegger. Hoquiam, May 11th. Picking 'em up and laying 'em down in a fashion to fill the phantom fin with envy, Patrolman Hall, Hoquiam's 6'4" shoe burner, last night took Mike Calpe into camp after the latter had abandoned his booze-laden car in favor of a sidewalk sprint. Police Judge William Hindman later declared Calpe the loser and assessed him at $100 on possession charge. Calpe faces county charges as well, and his abandoned machine, found to contain 6 gallons of moonshine, is held pending disposition of further charges. In the 1920s, not only did they hide bootleg in their cars, but these women smuggled them under their clothing. And this is a photo of some whiskey being hidden in the carcasses of some hogs. I think the funniest of the bootleggers' tricks is applying cow hooves to the bottom of their shoes so that the tracks will not give away where the still is hiding. Chicago, May 11th. 9 shots were fired and home-going crowds at the rush hour panic-stricken by prohibition agents and police chasing 4 men in a truck and touring car. 4 bottles of near beer were found in the truck. The men escaped. Music hath charms through false teeth. Puyallup, May 11th. Sid Sad, who lives on the Orting Road near this city, is a musician of rare ability. When Sid was 6 years old, he played a drum. When 12, a mouth organ. When 18, an accordion, bones, and fife. And from the time he cast his first vote to the present day, Sad has performed on the organ, flute, cornet, and other instruments. Several years ago, Sid Sad began to lose his teeth. The loss of his teeth affected the playing of the cornet. 6 months ago, Sid has just 1 tooth left, an upper tooth, and 2 months ago, a Tacoma dentist pulled that tooth. Sid had an idea. It occurred to him that he could utilize his false teeth for a musical instrument. Sid came to the city and had a jeweler drill 8 holes in the upper plate. Sad placed the plate on his mouth and returned home. Sad says when he reached home, he commenced whistling, that the air circulated through the holes in the plates, producing a musical sound, that by fingering the holes with his tongue, in a few minutes, he could play a song. Several musicians of this city who have heard Sad perform on his teeth state that his plate produces a musical sound between an anvil, a foghorn, and a saxophone. Piggly Wiggly Puget Sound Company, a Washington institution. On the payroll, Piggly Wiggly pays you well to trade at its stores, not just an occasional penny, but a consistent percentage of every dollar you spend. Bananas, 3 pounds for 23 cents. Green peas, 2 pounds for 25 cents. Big men with flat feet going to enter her life. See, lady, I show you how to make your money grow many, many times. Doubting, but willing to be shown, Mrs. G.F. Getz, 1457 Charles Street, listened with eager attention Tuesday to the formula of a gypsy woman, for causing her money to multiply itself with the assistance of certain charms. Now I sew it up for you in your pillow tonight. You must dream over it, said the fortune teller. But first we must have some ashes. You get some in the yard for me. Mrs. Getz obeyed, and when she returned, they sprinkled the ashes into the pillow and sewed it up. An hour after the gypsy had disappeared, Mrs. Getz began to entertain misgivings. They grew. At last, at the risk of breaking the charm, she tore open the pillow, and nothing but ashes met her gaze. Her money was gone. Detectives Martin Cleary and Don Blaine are looking for a chance to read the gypsy woman's immediate future. Who is your skinny friend, Ethel? Tell him to take cod liver oil the new way for a couple of months and get enough good, healthy flesh on his bones to look like a real man. Cod liver oil tablets for 60 cents. Broken windshields replaced in a jiffy at Auto Glass Service House. Ask for Woody, he'll fix 'em. O.B. Williams Company, 1943 and First Avenue, South Seattle. Day's broadcast programs. 6 to 9:30, music. Baseball scores, music and news items, phonograph records, music, health talk, and baseball scores. Barker Hotel, 6th and Pike, Seattle's leading downtown hotel, right in the center of the business district. This hotel boasts of every modern comfort and convenience, courteous and efficient service. Rates: transient, $1.50 per day, permanent, $7 per week. Now playing at the Embassy Theater. Gold diggers are passé. They're husband hunters now. A 50-cent show for 25 cents. The heart affairs of chorus girls called Husband Hunters. Rolls Royce and sable coats are the battle cry of the modern showgirl. Sunspots. Some scientist has at last discovered what is making all the trouble. Our friend doesn't pay back what he owes us. Crops are not terribly good, and 1 or 2 screws are loose. The doctor tells me that my thingamajigger that connects to my duodenum with the esophagus has got tangled up with the pancreas, and that consequently has my right toe giving me trouble. Some say it isn't the sunspots that are giving us the trouble. It is the extravagantly short dresses worn by the flappers. I've got a second channel. It's Life in the 1800s newspapers. If you got a sec, check it out. Much obliged. It's time for that best back contest I promised. This took place in Australia in 1928.